Sometimes we are lucky enough to see companies listen to consumer feedback when it comes to products and business models, but unfortunately, it doesn't happen enough because they're so focused on finding new ways to make money. They're not looking at how many people they're pushing away from their content. And I've had to talk a few times about Square Enix pledging to put NFTs in their games, but in their New Year's letter, they have admitted that they are doubling down regardless of the backlash they've faced. I have a bunch of different things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So this is a PC Games article. It says Square Enix aggressively investing in NFT games despite the backlash. Now, NFT-based games have faced so much backlash, and honestly, they deserve to. I do not like NFTs. I do not support NFTs, and most people are instantly turned off from products when they see those three letters put together, but companies don't care because they do, at the end of the day, want to find more ways to make money, and they think that this is the future, but they don't realize how many consumers they're pushing away by doing this. It says, Final Fantasy developer and gaming behemoth Square Enix has been heavily criticized for its plans to add NFTs to its upcoming games, but the company's New Year letter shows that instead of halting efforts, it's aggressively doubling down. Now, I've had to talk about Square Enix's NFT investments quite a few times on the channel at this point because every time they mention it, it infuriates people. They trend on social media, tons of articles are written about how upset fans are, and they don't really care. You would think at this point they would say, you know what, we've tried to talk about this multiple times, people are really upset, we are going to halt these efforts at least for a little while, because of course they don't actually make consumers feel confident in this model. They just say, hey, we're doing it, we don't care about what you think. But again, I have had to talk about this quite a few times. And yeah, unfortunately, people are extremely upset yet again. Imagine my shock. So it says, in his annual New Year letter, the Square Enix president and representative explains that despite a somber string of news stories surrounding NFTs in 2022, the company is still plowing cash into the controversial currency. Maybe that should be a red flag for them, a somber string of news stories. Yeah, because everybody seems to be against NFTs being in games and having a place in this industry, and maybe one day people will be more open to the idea, but for right now, we are not. Of course, there are going to be negative news stories releasing because everybody is fighting back against this, and if you are going to support it, people are going to criticize you. It says, in terms of new business domains, we named 3 focus investment fields under our medium-term business plan. Among those, we are most focused on blockchain entertainment, to which we have devoted aggressive investment and business development efforts. We had heard that their plans were pretty aggressive in the past, but that word was not used, and that term has infuriated people. Aggressive investment. They are not slowing down, no matter the backlash, they are just speeding up. It says, while he concedes that NFTs and blockchain have been the subject of a lot of negative press, he writes that Square Enix has been keeping a steady eye on these environmental changes while considering from a higher level perspective about what these things are actually all about. Again, if you've been keeping a steady eye on the news, you would see that nobody wants this. He also mentioned our group, Square Enix of course, has multiple blockchain games based on original IPs under development, some of which we announced last year, and we are undertaking preparations that will enable us to unveil even more titles this year. So, in the wake of the FTX scandal, faith in NFTs and blockchain is at an all time low, especially in the gaming sphere, given the now defunct company's affiliation with, of course, TSM. FTX was rendered bankrupt following a Coindesk article that highlighted potential leverage and solvency concerns around a research firm, leading to investors losing millions. People are very worried about NFTs and kind of the effect that they're going to have. And like I've said many times, I dislike NFTs so much because they're not physical items and they can be ripped away from you. You will lose your investment if the market goes sideways, and it's why I support physical media so much, because if a market crashed, you would at least have your item. If they don't maintain the blockchain your NFT is on, then it becomes useless, and in my opinion, they are worse than loot boxes because these companies are making you think that they're an investment. But Square Enix has done many controversial things over the past couple of months and also years. I've talked about so many different news stories with them, but this was one. Square Enix recruitment page boasts about ethics department censorship. Unfortunately, a lot of their games are releasing and they are being sanitized. They have an ethics department to look at the content they're creating before it even releases, saying, no, you can't have that. That term's offensive. You have to tone down this character model, or, add more mysterious black fabric to a character's outfit to cover her up more, whether it's her arms, her legs, her chest. It doesn't matter to them. They have this ethics department and they are kind of boasting about it. I don't want censorship in my games. And while Square Enix has a lot of content that I have loved, it is very hard for me to want to support them at this point. There are very few games that they release that I am super excited for, that I rave about, or that I even pre-order at this point. Also, I've talked about this upsetting people. Square Enix claims the Japanese market is no longer sufficient for profit, so they are pissing everybody off. They have everybody mad at them. They make every wrong statement possible, but as you can see, Square Enix doesn't really care about our feedback and our criticisms because they are not slowing down when it comes to NFTs, because they are now aggressively investing in these games despite all of the backlash that they have faced. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it and found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.